Okay, well, welcome everyone to a Sunday afternoon of absolute epic racing here over at the MSA sanctioned Porsche Cup Championship. The boys will be racing for a cup to be crowned the cup champion, and we are looking forward to this as round one takes us to Laguna, Seca. Supposed to be on my side in the com box is Stephen Koenig, but he's away on date night. So yeah, if we have a look, we are here on round one at Laguna Seca. Then round two we go to Imola. Round three will be at Bathurst. So lots of death will take place. Round four we're at Nürburgring, and then as always we end off the championship over in South Africa at everyone's not so favorite track that they love to hate, as always, Kyalami. Welcome to Panda and Jazz there on the stream. Yeah, boys, we are very close to going live for the qualifying session. Just waiting for the server to tick over. As always, you will have me as your commentator for this race, so that's going to suck as always, because, you know, if I don't have a beer in my hand, I'm driving into walls. So here we go. Here's quite a funny picture of me up for those who don't know what I look like when I'm not normally upside down or inside a wall or next to the wall or having tequila in my hand. So yeah, let's look forward to this race. Welcome there, Xavier. Yeah, we have got Laguna up. I think the highlight for Laguna, as always, is the lovely corkscrew. Then we've got those, as they call them, the rainy curves, and then probably the best overtaking opportunity, the Andretti hairpin. Yeah, if we don't see a lot of crashing, I would be surprised. It is a Porsche Cup car that does not have lots of aids. None of those GT3 spoiled brats things where you got TC, ABS, stability control, you know, hacks, all those lovely things. This is a brute force power upside down Beetle with an engine that sits in the back that should be in the front. You know, all kinds of weird things like that. So yeah, looking forward to commentating on the boys here at a very cloudy, sunny type situation at Laguna Seca. It will be quite a hot race. Not too hot, but reasonably hot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. If I see, it does say that it is 23 degrees track temp and 17 degrees air temp. So yeah, I am excited for this one. I think, have we mentioned it? No, I have not. So as always, this is a sanctioned event by Motorsport South Africa, so thanks to them. The boys will be racing to be crowned the first inaugural Cup champion for Porsche Cups. And then, of course, to go with that, we also have a giveaway prize, which will only be given away at the end of the year, which would be a very nice rig from our absolutely fantastic partner and sponsors over at Simulator Cave. They will be giving away a sim rig to the value of 16,000 Rand. So how it will work is you have to, number one, be entered. Number two, you have to race. Number three, you have to finish. Number four, finish well. And number five, if you're the champion, you get more entries into the actual draw. So yeah, so that's our main sponsor there. And then, of course, thank you to Flick Floy and was it ALMS, who hosts our servers. They changed their name, so I need to just get used to that. And then, of course, our broadcasting brought to you by the Genisus Extreme team. They're doing all these fancy things in the background. So yeah, it is quite cool. So yeah, round 1 of 5, we've got a 40-minute race coming up. Boys are currently into the qualifying session with about 8 minutes to go. They haven't set any times yet, so keeping an eye on that. There will be some lovely stewarding after the race. If someone wants to throw a bit of fists at one another, then of course there will be a nice little custom trophy for the champion that gets crowned. And then we'll talk a bit of smack to the top 3 after the race. So yeah, I am super excited. I do not have a beer, so there will be no beer in this broadcast today. I see over in the grandstands we've got quite a few of the boys visiting. And do we have a lady? No lady. Oh yes, I think so. Might be. Jason Varmer is going to be. He's got some fans there in the stands. That's going to be gooing millies. LC Hubert that's there, and then of course Robin Williams, which is there as well. So yeah, lekker boys, getting ready, getting excited. Oof, this track is an absolute fantastic circuit. I absolutely love this track. Cannot get enough of it. The boys hate it because I love it. Not that I do well on it, but I do tend to crash here a lot because the walls are so close. But it is one of those circuits that is just absolutely awesome. As we jump over into qualifying, I think the first flying laps is probably about to come through for us over here. So Farmer sets the first lap, which was not that fantastic, which is 1.7 seconds off of Klaassen. So Klaassen currently putting that first lap down. This guy's been practicing like non-stops. Whenever I've been hearing, he has been in the practice server doing laps. He's probably done like 6,000 laps. I think he's channeling his Ino D Norkia that, the Oak does laps for days and days on end. Klaassen going to give me a tongue-in-cheek for that one. So yeah, Klaassen's on pole. Bago, or aka Jay Grobler, in P2, 0.5 off the pace. Then you've got Terence Ferreira in P3, 1.1 off the pace. Then Theo, Governor Sammy with Farmer. Then we've got Stein, Baird, the Wayne Ferreira, which is supposedly the better Ferreira of the two Ferreiras. Then you've got Jude, Mr. Botha, then De Jager, Brewers, Hannes, Rodriguez, Van de Venter, or Van Deventer. I always forget how to what that is. I always need to ask him. Van de Venter, there we go, we'll go with that. Mr. Gutierrez, and then Brandon Kruger, Henry Platt, and then of course we got Veronos here, and Anthony Wilson, Bezuidenhout, and Mr. Versace. So yeah, as the boys are busy putting down their second laps, that's quite a feisty skin there from the Griffiths boys. We're on board here with Bago. Let's see what Bago does. I love this corner going through here. Whoa, watch out for that sausage that is just laying and waiting for you to give it a lick. That's going to send you to the wall. Bago goes in while he's one of the drivers just gets out of his way over there. And then he's going to cross the line. Is this going to be any quicker? And Bago goes a little bit. Then we're on board with Mr. Blich Note in his pink Porsche Cup. Just my daughter getting very excited because Dad's getting excited for the racing here. Fantastic. She enjoys the racing just as much as I do. Hopefully she just does not love the walls as much. So if we have a look, oh boy, Jude laying down the gauntlet, going faster than Klaassen's. Now, for those that don't know, Mr. Nouvel in his pink-themed LNR car, so of course it's my boy. It's from the LNR stable. He broke his wheel just before the Africa Cup, and one of the teammates, Mr. Strydom, decided to gift him his T300 there. So Jude driving on some new equipment and seems to be paying off because boys going quick and quick. On board here with Jude. Ooh, Jude, Dad's getting it all crossed up. Let's see how that goes. I love this sweeping left-hander that's coming up. Just be brave, hook it, run it wide, and then basically this is the part where I start praying because it's either going to lock up or death is upon the door. Start building your daughter a rig. Absolutely not. There we got a car on the wall. There's another car on the gravel. Oh, this is fantastic. Jude running wide. Jude on the grass. Jude almost doing a pole. That is just fantastic. These machines, they've got a bit of traction control, but ABS is for sissies. You know, if you've got ABS, you should not be racing a Porsche Cup car. This thing is as wild can be. It is almost as wild as original tequila the very next day. So yeah, as we look at the times here, Jude pulls to the side. Blichner pulls to the side. We've got Theo busy doing laps in his all blacked out Porsche Cup car there. That looks quite interesting with the yellow stripe up the middle. He's sitting in P14, and I mean, he needs to find, if he finds about 1/10, he'll move up to 13th. If he finds 3/10, he'll move up to 12th. So, you know, he's got a bit to play for over there. If we have a look, Bago also moves past Klaassen's, and those times are so close. 0.1274, well, okay, not Bago, for Kruger. Brandon Kruger is in P2, 0.127 off of Jude. Then you've got Claessens at 0.147. Then you've got Bago sitting in P4, 0.6 off. Blichner 0.7. Rodriguez in P6, that is 0.8 off. Still on board here with Theo, and Theo does jump to P12s. Look at me, bless him as a commentator. That is absolutely fantastic. Brandon's car looking quite interesting with the green and the, shall we call that grey? Is that like a gunmetal grey color? Looks interesting, but it looks very nice when he's got gravel that's been added to it. Will he be taking P1 over here? Let's have a look and see what he is doing. And let's see. No. Yeah, he does. Kruger jumps to pole position and puts in a 24.5. Wow. That seems to be a bit of smoke that he's just lit there. That he is on fire. Mordre in P3 in that epically cool looking freaking Pandacity racing car. I mean, their skins always look so cool with the pandas looking extremely upset. I genuinely imagine that's how the drivers look every time they get in those cars. They look so freaking upset. Claessen's putting it into P2, 0.092 off of Kruger. Here comes Terrence in his, as far as I understand, they AI generated the skin for this Porsche Cup car. So it is a little bit wild, something a bit different. There's some retro old school lines to it. Almost looks like a Datsun from way back when. Terrence is currently sitting in P11. Back on board with Brandon, going through. Ooh, corkscrew. Does he hold it together? That looks so smooth and so together. Man, no wonder we're always slower than Brandon. Brandon just looking like he's absolutely fire going through the corkscrew. Let's have a look here. Brandon coming through. Here comes we watching. Through goes Bago. Yeah, Bago just looking just as smooth. Yeah, no, I think we're starting to understand why these boys are all so quick and the rest of us is all so slow. But Bago is on fire. Coming through the second last corner there. Hugging the inside. Taking nice little exit curb there. And dives into the final corner. Quali time has run out. So these will be everyone's last laps to be counted. Does Bago go any quicker? Let's see. Yeah. Bago goes pole position, clutch drive right there from Bago, 0.053 up. Then we got Brandon in second. Oh boy, will Brandon be faster? That'll be the question. Kruger sitting in second. Claessen's already in the pits. Nouvel's in the pits. Blichner is still on a lap. So it is all up to Brandon here to see if he can outmaneuver Bago with a win. For pole position here for the first round here of the LNR MSA Porsche Cup. That is a freaking mouthful to say, but yeah. Let's see. He comes up to the corkscrew, goes through the corkscrew, looks smooth. Is it fast though? Coming through that sweeping left-hander. It's looking clean. Comes up. Let's see how he does through the right-hander. He's got to be perfection. Oh, he doesn't take a bit of gravel, so that might have gained him some time that he lost out on his previous flying lap. Comes through the last corner. We're holding bated breath. Will Kruger do it? Will he not? And Kruger does it by half a second. 23.9. Holy smokes. Yeah. Brandon Kruger just laid down the freaking law right there, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap. Hannes, good luck, my dude. You're supposed to be in the race. Stop focusing on the stream. Jump in the race and absolutely enjoy the race. Don't die. Be cool. Have a jaw is all we can say. The boys are sitting in the grid, so obviously we have that, like it's a 2-minute waiting period for them to go around and do their full formation lap. So boys are jumping out the car, getting a drink, getting a beer, getting some tequila. Jude will be putting on new tires on that Porsche Cup. Terrence will be hoping that Terrence, good news, you don't have to do pit stops. So there is no need for drive-throughs, because Terrence is our resident drive-through of the day. So here we go, track walk. Brandon is P1. Then we have Bago on P2. Okay, now I need to just see who's on P3. My whole screen decided to go black on my game side. It's fun. So Pandacity, so that must be Claessen's. Then it's Jude. Then it is Blichnout, as far as I know. Then it is Mr. Rodriguez. Then we go up to Farmer. And that thing looks fire. That Griffith, that just absolutely looks freaking fire. Then we've got Henry Platt, that is in P8. Then we've got Daniel Butter in P9. We got Hannes, who was just here in the stream, P10. He normally drives for the Pace Motorsport boys. Then we've got Terence in the Player One racing car. Then we've got Theo Governor Sammy in P12. We've got Ulrich in the purple Griffith car. Then we've got Wayne Ferreira, the faster Ferreira of the Ferreira boys. Then we have got Oratile in P16. We got Mr. Stein in P16. And we got Mr. Bird 17, Mr. Varonos 18, and Johan van der Venter in P19, Mr. Brewers P20. That car actually looks freaking cool. Then we've got Anthony Wilson in P21. We're followed by Mr. Gutierrez and Mr. Fasaki. And then we got a Mr. Bezaidenhout sitting in the pits, who either seemingly didn't press drive or had something on the game that went astray. Boys are busy doing their warm up of the brakes, warming up of the tires. Possibly need to warm up some of the drivers. Hopefully they warmed up their overtaking skills, because this race is going to be all about who can overtake, who can keep the tires lasting the full 40 minutes, and of course, who will not get track cuts and survive. Survival here will be what is needed. I'm seeing that Oratila has got a stop-go 10. Why would you have a stop-go 10? That is quite something. Must have taken a shortcut, or something must have happened for him to get a penalty. That is quite strange. Well, the boys are busy swerving, heating up those tires. We are getting ready. I'm super excited. Let me just see here. I see someone is mentioning something here in the background. Let's just have a look and see what they are saying. I see someone has asked me as well, how does someone already have a penalty? I have no idea how they received a penalty. That is quite absolutely being strange. Let me see if we can I don't know how to remove this. We're back on that again. How to remove a penalty. Let me just ask here. Man, this is so weird. Yeah, I am unable to clear this, unable to clear away his penalty. That is so strange. Zero traction. Let's go, boys. Coming up to the final corner, where the boys are now lining up, doubling up, side by side. Things are going to start cooking in the next couple of seconds. I am nervous. I'm excited. We are waiting for the lights to go green, and we are go. Wayne unfortunately was out of position, got himself a little drive through for being overzealous, and we are almost went 3 wide into turn 1. Kruger makes that. Someone ran wide. Let's see, there's a bit of argy. Boys are making through turn 1, which is nice to see. So turn 1 was clean. Turn 2, Blichnout is on the grass. Wow, this is freaking scary as heck to see what these boys are doing. I actually don't even know what to say, where to go. So Bago dropped. So Bago was the one. Oh, there we go. Henry Platt runs off the track there. Bago sitting in, seems to be P5 at this stage after running wide. Rodriguez is in P4 in the Pandacity car. Then you have got Jude that's just ahead of him. So let's see. First time everyone goes into the corkscrew. Are we going through? So 1 and 2 is through. 3, 4, 5, 6 seems to be clear. There seems to have been, there's a bit of argy-bargy in the background. I see some yellow cars flipping about there far in the back, but that's all good. Let's get them going. This is looking freaking fantastic. And Claessens puts a hefty move on Kruger. Kruger is not going to be happy with that one. That's going to be a bit of someone's going to be visiting the stewarding room after the race for that one. That was a bit argy-bargy right there. Let's see if Kruger can compose himself to be able to get back on top of Claessen, because Claessen, I think, has figured out he needs to get to the front and he needs to try and get away, because Brandon showed his absolute class in qualifying and he was just way faster than everyone. Jude's sitting pretty there in P3, so he's just watching the boys there, hopefully. So I see Ferreira, Wayne is serving his drive-through. De Jager's in the pits, seemingly for repairs. Bago's sitting in P5 behind Rodriguez. He's looking to see if he can't make a move on him. Let's see. Is he close enough? He is not close enough as yet. How will they go through the sweep? Oh, Rodriguez runs a bit wide. That should give Bago a bit of an opportunity into the corkscrew. Will he be brave? Oh, not brave. Senseless. We're going to call that. He has made a sensible decision there. He had all the sense in the world to not do a dive. Absolutely fantastic from Bago. No excuses from Bago today. That's what we like to see. And Bago's going to kick me for that one. Wayne Ferreira gets a stop-go 30. He obviously went flying into the pit lane. Whoops. For him. Right, if we have a look here, so the fight is on here. Rodriguez again running a little bit wide. And we've got a replay to see the chaos that unfolded. What happened here? So Anthony goes in the grass, has a little fun little spin there, and there was 2 spins, seemingly, and then the boys are doing extra spins. That's just spinning in sympathy is what I call that. Bago's in P4. Who's gone? Someone's gone. Bago's past Rodriguez, so no one's gone. He's just put a move on Rodriguez and gotten through. So Claudio drops to P5, Bago's in P4. And now he sets off to Jude. And Jude is trying to catch up with Kruger and with Claessen. Claessen seems to, he's pulled a slight gap, so 0.7 of a gap there's right there in the front. So yeah, the boys have got a bit of a gap over Bago. They've got about 2.5 seconds that they need to get over Bago. If we had, Bago puts a nice dive on Rodrigo. The door was wide open. Bago said, thank you very much. I'll take that any day, every day, all weekend long. Bago takes it and is seemingly much quicker than Claudio because he's just pulling away. Brandon seems to be getting way closer. He is now only 0.4 behind Claessen at this stage. He must be boiling after the little running slap that he got there from Claessen on the previous lap. Jude is about a second off of them. I don't know if he's going to have the pace to run with them. We'll have to wait and see. But if these two boys fight, that might just bring Jude back into it. And Kruger just makes so much time on the brakes into turn 1. Holy smokes. Claessen not defensive as of yet. Just gives a sniff to that inside bollard. Let's see. This is always hold your breath kind of lines. Brandon's running wide. That's gonna give Claessen a bit of a breathing space on that one. All that work gone. That seemingly has kind of brought Jude a little bit closer. So Jude's getting a bit more slipstream, so that's going to help him. I see Oratile got a disqualification for flying into the pits. That's not good. Wayne is down to a stop-go 30 still. He needs to make sure that he serves that. So Brandon getting closer to Claessen's once again after running wide and dropping those few tenths to him. Let's see. Getting all excited for what these boys are going to get up to. I see the field is spreading out quite quickly here. So this Porsche Cup car obviously is showing that it is not easy to be dealing with. Terrence in 14th, and Terrence is fighting with Mr. Baird that is ahead of him. Interesting scheme that he's gone with. Let's see what Terrence can do. So his brother obviously did what Terrence normally does. He got he first got a DT and then he got a stop-go 30. So he's inspecting the pits as always. That is Terrence. Bird's running wide. That should give Terrence a nice little run. Will Terrence cut to the inside? This is going to be close. Bird goes defensive. Does he? He's hold the line, but he's left the gap wide open. And he jumps in. Stevie's back home. we can always tell him to come jump into the chat here, and he can always come join us. Let's do that. Then I don't have to solo this all the way. Let me just tell him, you can join us. Replay, we are seeing what happens here. Who has a spin? Oh, typical wheel on the grass. And hits the wall. That looks like one very, very broken Porsche Cup car over there. Back live, and we've got Brandon that is all over Claessens. So Brandon all over Klaassen. Oh no! Brandon punts Klaassen. Klaassen, did he save it from hitting the wall? That is, oi oi oi. Boys, that is not the way to go racing. That obviously is, that's Brandon's win down the tube. Absolutely down the tube, because that is going to be looked at most definitely. Ouch. Klaassen is in 7th. The front end does look like it has survived, so he did not hit the wall, so he lives to fight on and try and get a recovery. Yeah, oops, ish. Yep, boys, all of those connotations. We're just dealing here with the mini-me. She's decided she wants to join the racing crew here. So Brandon's going to run away in the front, but that might be a short-lived victory for him. Just want to make sure. There we go. How's that? Yay. Oh, there goes another spin. Another one. Who was that? I could not see the car number there. Okay. Back to the action. And we've got Blichnoot. We've got Farmer. We've got Claessen's. Claessen's going to be freaking boiling. Oh, Farmer gets a little bit of a tank slapper going there with Klaassen behind him. And then with them, who do we have? Then we got Buerta that's just behind them. Oh boy. Brandon running away in the front. Then we've got, the boys are having a look, and Klaassen almost got a 2 in a row up the backside over there. Luckily, Buerta jumps out the way, and in the background, someone hits the wall. Oh man, these Porsches are freaking scary with all of their no aids like GT3 cars. We knew this was going to be a challenge, and we were so excited for this racing, because this is like, this tests your metal. Let's have a look. Claessen's is having a look at Farmer. Farmer is fighting for his life to stay alive here. And on the replay, we see Bago goes down the inside of Jude at the corkscrew, takes a bit of a sneaky line over the AstroTurf, and takes P2 from Jude. Jude's going to have to drive a bit harder if he wants to get that P2 back. Whoa, Farmer hits the bollard, runs off. Klaassen says, thank you very much. Farmer keeps it out of the wall. Nice save there from Farmer. He lives to fight again. Where we at? We're here with P15. So Richard Beard. Bird? Is it Bird or Beard? I don't know. Must be Beard. Bird. Tweety Bird. There we go. Richard Bird sitting in P15, fighting with, is he lapping someone, or is that Mr. Brewers? Can that be Mr. Brewers? I don't think that is Mr. Brewer. Oh no, it is Mr. Van der Venter that is ahead of him, half a second. Oh boy. So Johan is a good friend. So Johan, you better be battling. You better be defending. You need to keep that Richard at bay. Richard's about half a second off of Van der Venter over there, so he needs to just he needs to get a bit of a hurry up if he wants to be able to make a move. Boys are taking some nice lines. These Porsches look awesome. They sound freaking fantastic. Oh, Johan takes a bit of a deep line there. Richard takes a shallower line and does seemingly to be able to pull a little bit closer on Johan. Van der Venter is going to be sweating bullets very shortly, because Mr. Bird is going to be all over him. we're here with Bago. Bago is pulling 1.5 seconds away from Jude. He is 4 seconds away from Brandon. So Bago is being clever at this stage. So in theory, this is probably going to be your P1 and P2 fighting over here if an incident is logged against Kruger for the seemingly mistakenly oopsie that he made with running, slapping poor Klaassen out of the way. So yeah, Bago is not taking any chances. He is putting his foot down and he is seemingly going for this to try and catch Brandon and to just overtake Kruger on track. Then there is no question who won the race. So will Bago be able to catch him with 28 minutes left in this 40-minute race? So we're almost at halfway, and who knows what these cars will be doing at the halfway mark. And oh boy, we have Mr. Koenig that has joined after his lovely date with his better half. Welcome to the show, Stevie.
Thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic to be here, but even more fantastic to see the incredible action at Laguna Seca with the Porsche Cup cars, something that's not often driven by our ACC drivers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is the question is, Stevie, can you see what I'm seeing?
I'm just getting my monitor up and going and then carrying on, but been keeping an eye on the actions. A couple of off tracks going and landing up with a few problems, drive-throughs being a bit of an issue, but still some fantastic passing. What I've got to say, very interested. Mordre Klaassen has driven the Porsche Cup as a trainer car for quite some time, and unfortunately there's little errors starting to make more and more in his parts. So trying a little bit too hard there, maybe tires starting to drop off.
And he and Blichno just seemingly killed each other. Oh, that is fantastic. These boys are Mordre is having a race to forget at this point. Yeah, that's not a fun one over there. Terrence is seemingly keeping himself out of trouble and is up to 9th. Ooh, gets a bit of a wiggle there.
Absolutely great stuff. Remember, no traction control, no ABS, and you got to ensure light on the throttle just to carry some form of momentum at this point. But it's going to be a tough call for a lot of these drivers to push themselves that little bit more in the race. How can they get to the top is the question. And at the moment, Brandon Kruger leading out the pack. Something he's very familiar of, but for how long can he keep going, considering temperatures are starting to climb here at Laguna Seca, pressure starting to go in, and you got things like Johan Bago Grobler, who is going to be breathing down his neck at any opportunity.
Yeah, then you also missed, poor Brandon gave Mordre, he gave Klaassen a kiss of death at the final corner and sent him to the wall. Whoa, Terrence just takes out, see on the replay here, that was Klaassen. So Theo and Terrence gets together, and then we've got the replay with Klaassen and Blichnout. Oh, Klaassen just tank slapper, and Blichnout was seemingly just a passenger in that one. That sucks for Klaassen. But yeah, so Brandon took out Klaassen early in the race. Klaassen did a move on Brandon, which was quite aggressive on the first lap. So yeah, some interesting things. So Kruger might not be the official winner of the race. Yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes, how that turns out.
It's going to be an interesting fight nonetheless. Brandon Kruger still trying to make his way through a bit of traffic on his way through to the corkscrew. It's going to be late on the brakes, but that is Lorenzo off into the dirt. Not going to be a happy camper on his race, so he's going to have to try and push that a little bit more in trying to play a little bit of catch-up. Hopefully no damage to the car, but I've got a funny feeling the nose just catching the wall as we take a look on the replay. Just going and skating across the wall. Unfortunately, will not be a happy camper. Lorenzo needing a fair amount of work to be done on his car.
Yeah, no, I see as well. I see that looks like Anthony there with his car. That also not. Here we go. Here's the replay. Let's see how this unfolds.
A touch on the dirt and a bit of a wallop towards the wall. Unfortunately, that is going to be some damage, and also these cars don't really have a lot to play with in aerodynamics, but any loss of it during the course of the race can throw you into a world of hurt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, yeah, so Terence thought he would have a quiet drive to finish off his race in P8, but Hannes seems to have decided he's going to tell him how to get this done.
It's always going to be an interesting fight, but the question is, how are drivers going to cope with as the time starts to tick away? 23 minutes left of this race. Who has still got the endurance? Hannes still maintaining a fair amount of pressure, staying in that 9th position, doesn't want to drop out of the top 10, especially for early starts of the championship in the MSA Porsche Cup with Logistical Nightmare Racing. I mean, this is the debut running of it, and also you want to win big, maximizing your points, because who knows, that single point may be what you need to move up in the order and take the overall victory for the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, race 1, there's so much unknown that's been going on. Boys been crashing drive-throughs. We've had a stop-go 30. We've had a stop-go 10. So yeah, there's been some interesting things unfolding here through the race, and we're about at halfway distance. So yeah, I think things are going to start heating up here with, I see Richard, Mr. Bird, as he seemingly has company front and back. So here we have he's going for the overtake at the corkscrew. Oh boy.
A bit of a brave moment, but you have to capitalize on the attacks and see where you're going to move forward. Any wrong direction, any push too far, are you going to land up in a world of hurt? Well, Bird at the moment feeling his bit of pressure from the attacking behind. And I see Ashley Wilson, unfortunately, stop-go 30 seconds, getting added on to his time. Going to be dropping down the order even worse than what he is at the moment. And that's just for exiting pit lane a little bit too quickly. Unfortunately, a bit too excited to get off that pit limiter.
And there's some donuts in the background, Mr. Varanos. I think he forgot it was your birthday earlier in the week, and he's done what I've done. He's done a celebratory donut to say, well done, Stephen, and now he's carrying on with racing. You know, well-deserved sacrifice.
Just running out of that top 10 and already going and falling away 9.2 seconds off the likes of Govinsamy. He's going to have to really work hard to try and claw everything back. But that has brought him a little bit into the clutches of Bird and Jan van Venter, who's going to be finding it out. And, oh, hang on, big dive on the inside from the number 4. And I think maybe the shock of seeing the car slow down and managing to make the corner. But, oh man, that was a very, very close call, and it could have ended in a very horrific way. Van der Sat for the GPX Racing Cup, going and fighting it out, trying to close up on Ferreira, who's opening up the distance. I mean, Terence Ferreira hasn't had the easiest of sim racing over the last couple of months. Breaking into the top 10 is a big win for him. And at the moment, he does not want to lose out to the likes of Van der Sat behind, who closes up under braking. The Player One Racing getting a mirror full of Van der Sat, who is constantly hounding him through every corner.
Yeah, no, this is exciting. And I mean, it's quite nice to see Terence and them Player One Racing, their new team that they've launched. And they had the skip. Woo! Van der Sat's going for it.
Up on the inside, late on the anchors. Can he make it work though? Nope, just not having the legs. But can he drag race all the way to the top? Going to be late on the brakes once again. Van der Sat's going to try for the inside line, backed out of it. Going to rather try and get the slingshot up towards Corkscrew, and Ferreira just finding that extra bit of pace has got enough to protect himself through the Corkscrew and down the bottom of the hill. Now this is 3 stories down the hill, an absolute nightmare. The steering lightens up underneath you, and you've got to try and carry as much momentum as possible, but you've got to give it up. Van der Sat is putting the pressure on Ferreira, who's just taking a deep breath, taking it in and running to the fringes of the circuit.
That I held my breath through that whole section there, because wow, that was quite something to witness from 2 drivers. That's fantastic. And Blichnout is P7. They seem to be, are they catching up to Blichnout? That does look like the gap to Blichnout looked a little bit smaller. They can see him, so some motivation.
That's it, but they still have to get and they have to try and get past one another. And we do see that Quaterius has served his penalty. He's back out on circuit, which is absolutely fantastic. See drivers going and making their way around the circuit. Wilson also just having a tough time out there, going and sorting out his penalty. But still, 20 cars circulating around. Kruger out in first, Krobler in second place, Neville running in third, Rodriguez in fourth, and then you've got the likes of Buerta, Farmer, Bluchno, Terence Ferrer, and Van der Sat still running in that 8th and 9th, and Gavansani locking down that 10th position as they charge their way through a beautiful on-board from the likes of Van der Sat's car, as you can see how much he makes up under braking and how smooth you've got to be on the controls. Got to say, these Porsche Cup cars, as much as everyone likes to give them a bit of slack for not having the ABS and traction control, it's really going and showing the top tier of these drivers as they fight it out for the honors of the Logistical Nightmare Racing Porsche Cup, and is scoring one of the big points here in sim racing in South Africa.
Oh, no, absolutely, man. It's I thought this would be a fun series for the boys to race in, to see who does what. So yeah, it's great to see that it's come together like that. And then I see in the grandstands we got Dylan from Soccer here. How's it, Dylan? Dylan says hello, Stephen. And then Ruan Heineke has popped in as well. Ruan should be racing. I don't know what's his excuse for sitting at home on the couch watching the racing. So, you know, yeah, Ruan, get your bum in the car.
Well, we've currently got Bond, who's dealing with Bruce right behind him. The 28 would be trying to make up some ground, but Bird has been doing a phenomenal job keeping up the momentum, but at this point he is holding back, and that looks to be the number 5 car.
Yeah, that seems to be Wayne. Yeah, that's Wayne Ferreira, Terence's foster brother, as I say.
Well, at the moment, doing a really good job of just hanging on the back of our 13th position and just allowing him to tow him along, protecting his position, but also get him closer to the likes of Diaga a little bit up the road. So if he can continue doing this, this is going to be a big turn of events in the last 17 minutes of the race. And just by having that little bit of tow is definitely going to help out in the last little bit, considering a lot of these drivers have got their fuel calculations down to the absolute milliliter and less than what you get in a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. I always hold my breath when these boys are so close together, because these cars are so unpredictable and they seem to be like to move around. So moving around under braking, they move around when you're just accelerating. Whoa, Wayne, I don't know, that was close from Wayne over there.
Well, Wayne's about to get a whole face full, and that looks to be our leader coming in, slotting his way through. Brandon Kruger just getting a little bit more momentum, and as you said, the car's floating around and requiring a very delicate touch. It's like a simple dance that you may look at and go, well, that's easy to do, but it's more like a ballet, a performance of note, where you're going and working out whether you're on flat foot, on your toes, are you moving around, are going and spinning, are you working with your partner or not? Well, for Brandon Kruger, he just goes and absolutely sends it like a Scud missile into turn 2, because, well, turn 1 is a 15-degree turn angle, and turn 2, he launches on past Bert and now continues on his drive, knowing that Krobler is making up a fair amount of time to him as well. Maybe feeling a little bit more pressure there. Anonymous Gaming Driver getting reports in from the team saying you've got to put the hammer down and start breaking away. But I'm just taking a look. Van der Sat is starting to open up a bit of a gap with Gavansami running in 10th, but he's also losing a lot of time to Terence Ferrer, 8th and 9th, still having a good go. But it looks like it's starting to lengthen out. Then you've got Van der Venter, who is also making a bit of time on Veronis in the last little while. So we're starting to see little battles forming throughout the circuit as they all getting caught out with one another, having a monster of a concertina effect. And that this time we're about to see opportunists come out. You're going to hear that same of back in WWE, you would hear the Edge theme song come out, and you know that's the ultimate opportunist. I think we're going to see a couple of those drivers starting to come through towards the end of the race. Who's protected their tires the most around this circuit that is completely terrible for tire degradation, as Corteris going and trying to look on the inside, going for a pass, and unfortunately, two Porsches, one left, one right, and that is what happens when there's a miscommunication between the two. And Van der Sat utilizing the confusion and tried his luck on Ferreira. Well, Ferreira was looking left and right and not looking straight. Van der Sat took the opportunity to send it, And maybe Ferreira took a deep breath there, saying, okay, didn't expect that. Gotta get my head refocused.
Yeah, that was, wow. So, two back markers in front of you fighting for position, and they go spinning one to the left, one to the right, and then you have Anas going, well, while you're distracted, let me see if I can put my nose in here. Damn.
You know, the art of magic is all about the misdirection. Well, if you go both ways, you miss completely everything around. The one person who didn't miss the opportunity was Van der Sar. I've got to say, that was brilliant in just biding his time. But unfortunately, I think that might have been the shot. He went and fired off the round. Unfortunately, Ferreira saw it coming, and he's going to have to work back at it again. Ferreira, at this point, knowing the games, will have a bit more of a better idea of how Van der Sar's going to work around this.
Yeah, no, I also think that was his moment to shoot his shot, and he seems to have missed it with being maybe just a tad too cautious. Here we go, replay. Let's see how this was masterful to see these oaks. One goes sliding off on the outside, and the other one on the inside. That's some spinning in unison. I mean, that's absolute perfection right there.
Alfasaki on that number 17 car, just going and keeping himself. He was the fortunate one to be out where there's so much runoff and not having too much of an issue. Suddenly having the entire field come by and just seeing his competitor landing up in the wall. So he's going to carry on this one, but the tire's not going to be so happy. Our second place, Jan Bego Krobler, and is being a bit of masterclass at the moment as he charges his way through. Know that he has been doing a bit of practice splitting between the likes of GT3 racing and iRacing, GT3 racing and ACC, and also now in the Porsche as he tries to balance so many different platters at this point to ensure that he comes up with the best meal.
Yeah, no, Bago's, I think, definitely been a surprise, because when he entered, he said to me, let me come and try this this nasty car. So for someone that doesn't seem to like the car much, he absolutely has flying.
And you know, there's that misdirection again. No, don't mind me. I'm just here and suddenly putting in some blistering lap times. He is running second though. He's got a bit of work. Jude Neville trying to chase him down. But Hannes van der Sar now right onto the back of Ferreira, who runs out a little bit wide. Has van der Sar got anything left in the tank in the final 11 minutes to try and take that 8th place away, as that is Veronis getting sideways. He's now trying to rejoin and right in front of our number 5, and unfortunately going and holding him back a little bit, and also slots in between the two. So kind of going all over the show. Ferreira getting a little bit of a deep breath, and now Veronis going and trying to keep it all together. Suddenly he's having the inside with a whole lot of Porsche from the likes of Van der Venter, who's just trying to make up a position. Side by side they go, and Van der Venter gets the pass, done and dusted. Can he carry the momentum though? Veronis' tyres are going to be a bit more worn, but it looks like Venter has got enough drive to try and open up the gap just a little bit more. Late on the brakes though, as Johan Bego Krobler goes on the send, caught up a lot quicker than he planned.
Yeah, no, that was... Oh, man, these boys are really knowing how to just get our hearts stomping on a Sunday afternoon. And just Johan van der Venter there, he's the winner of that whole break mod from Simulator Cave. So I need to check with him if he's actually received that and if he's installed it. For that whole haptic brake modification for him to be able to go faster, even though there's no ABS here, so probably won't be feeling any vibrations from those nice new modifications.
No, when you do feel it, it means lockup, which is generally a feel you don't want to have. So if he's got it, put it on. It better not do anything, because the moment it does, and knows that you've kind of pushed the mark a little bit too far. Van der Sar is skating all over the show, but Ferreira looking a lot more loose coming out of the corkscrew as he tries to put the power on a bit early there. Both drivers moving left and right, those rears starting to get a little bit of more of a handful, and I wonder, when is it all going to give? And drivers wearing them down. I mean, the track is extremely hot out there. The drivers are pushing extremely hard. They're trying to work their way through traffic, and that's an LNR car that spins back into pit lane. Both drivers not lifting off at all. That is the number 25 of Wilson. who lost it from the right hand all the way to the left hand. Beautifully done. Oh, as we do have someone off. As we go and take a look at Veronis, who's chasing down Fenta. Looks to go around the outside. Fenta's not going to back down from this fight. Veronis is going to do everything he can and just look for the inside line. It doesn't seem to work out. Goes out a bit wide, and now we'll get the momentum into turn one. Never mind the car snapping underneath him. Managing to catch it, but unfortunately, that has allowed Fenta to start opening up that gap.
And with them fighting, they got Bird that's getting closer. Richard is now only 0.7 behind them.
Well, the Chasing Beavers originally started out on console. They come over to PC, and now they're getting the Chasing Beavers have now got a bird problem as well. So kind of the whole mix of the animal kingdom here. But don't count out, Bird's also got a bit of pressure from behind. Might not be for position, but all it needs is one car just to go and lock up the anchors, go a little bit too fast into the corner, and suddenly Fenta will lose time, Veronis will lose time, Bird will lose time. Every single one of the drivers are going to have to be very, very cautious. And once again, goes back to that tap dancing and working with one another. This is the number 17 that we saw. Fasahi down the corkscrew. Oh, just hit the sausage curb and bounced him across. Unfortunately, two wheels on the dirt didn't quite work out.
Saves it at least to not run across the track and murder half his competitors as they were coming through there.
Definitely a tough call for our drivers, but now as time starts to tick away and drivers needing to push that little bit harder, makes one person wonder, how long can you keep going at this pace? How long are you willing to push yourself this little bit more? How long have you got left in the tank in the fight?
Now it looks like with them pushing, and I assume the tires are no longer in their most prime state. So guys are sneaking in a couple of mistakes. The tails are wagging all over the place. So it's definitely, I think we're in for a cracking last 6 minutes of this race.
It's going to be an ultimate one, that's for certain, and won't be the last of the drivers actually racing this weekend. They're going to be doing quite a bit as they get themselves ready for the weekend and also doing a various amount of races. But Bird, feeling the pressure and getting a little bit walked across, he's having to just try and think what he needs to do as he gets chased down by the number 3 car of Stain, who's on the back of him. Now, Stain is currently last of the drivers, but he is still keeping up a good bit of pace. And unfortunately, it's going to start eating into the time for Wilson, who is currently in 19th. As Veronis getting the drive through, tries to carry a little bit more momentum out of the corkscrew, and now makes his way through. Oh, every time he gets a little bit of momentum, the front just squirrels underneath him, and he's having to play catch up.
Yeah, just dipped into the gravel there, and just every time there's little touching gravel here, touching grass there, is just either going to kill you or just makes him that much slower.
Stain going and losing the momentum, and that has allowed Bird to get into the fray and right onto the back of Veronis. Now it's all about consistency, a little bit of a tighter line this time around into turn 2 to try and get away from Bird, as we do see Stain giving a little bit of room further back as our front runners start to make their way through. And I wonder how much luck are they going to have with these 3, because I don't think Bird wants to lose any bit of time. Veronis doesn't want to lose any time, and Fenta surely doesn't want to come off the gas.
Yeah, no, I think Jude's going to have his work cut out trying to get past these 3 in the next 5 minutes. He does have a 3-second gap to Rodriguez, but yeah, I think it's more the risk of getting past these boys than anything else.
That's it, number 10 trying to make his way through, and now looking to eye out towards the corkscrew, and does. I don't think he was expecting it all too well. He lined himself just in case, but it wasn't quite what he wanted. He gets the pass done and dusted, and now has to try and get past Veronis, who we saw just slightly on the dirt. Jude is now needing to figure out what is he going to do, because these two are super close to one another. They're in a dogfight. They don't have to jump out the way. All they need to do is maintain their racing line and help with the pass. But where are you going to go when you've got 2 Porsches taking up the circuit?
And it's side by side. Johan got a very bad drive out of the final corner, so that's given Varonas the opportunity, and Jude's going to stick it up his inside. Oh, man. That probably is as clean as what you could expect. And Johan lets him through straight away as well.
Well, I think he's just opened up an opportunity for Varonas, because Varonas comes back on the inside. Going to try and take a look. Couldn't quite get it. Fundaventa just closing the door right in front of him, and will continue to keep on the power.
Yo, that was super close. I really thought that might be it for Johan over there. I thought Varonas is going to send him.
Varonas loses it after everything. All the hard work, the pressure getting to him. He stops it just before he gets on track. Oh, man, bad luck. Was constantly going at it, constantly fighting, and just a little bit of aero wash, a bit of unluck, and that is that done, dusted, and throws him down into 13th position. Brandon Kruger, though, going and running 26 laps into this race, 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go. The Omnis Gaming Porsche going and looking to win big here, but Jan Bego-Krobler, 14 seconds behind, is making up small amount of ground, just not enough to make the monstrous impact he would like.
Yeah, no, I think Brandon has shown his class here today in this car. He's just literally just driven away from everyone in the field.
Well, you can't count it out. To me, it's a long season. Oh, as Jan going and landing up, flashing his lights. There was a bit of contact there. Unfortunately, I think there may be a naughty corner. That is the number 26 car of Corterius, who got tagged and now is pointing the wrong direction, trying to get himself going ahead of the bunch. As we do see Richard Bond onto the back of Fundaventa. He's looking to get by, no room to go, and he is slicing his way through, staying up against the back of him, trying to coach him on at this point, and he's also looking to get by. Fundaventa, defensive, middle of the circuit, and tries his luck. Bird tried the inside line, both managing to make it, and Stain puts it up on the inside, saying, you know what, I'm going to try and get by. Never mind, don't have the drive into the corkscrew, going to rather wait it out. And Richard at the moment is concentrating on Fundaventa, but I think he's also got to be a bit concerned as Stain is looking to try and get through. So here is the number 26. So loses his rear.
He spun straight in front of Bago. I think Bago had a moment there.
Oh, there was a bag of problems that was in front of him.
Bird managing Johan. Bird has passed Johan.
Only just, as it looks like Stain going and lifting off and gets really close to the wall there. Something went on with his car. But Richard now into 11th position. I don't think he's done yet, as Fundaventa, missing his brake marker by 3 yards back, now has to try and make up some ground. And we nearly saw the meeting of minds into turn 2.
These oaks they're really taking away some of the years that's left on my life here with this driving. Now I know how you feel when I'm driving, Stephen. No wonder you look so old.
Nah, it's all okay. Don't worry. I know if I count to lap 12, it's all over. Fundaventa is now trying his luck. Even with 23 seconds to go, it's going to be a tough ask. But coming through to go onto his final lap is going to be Brandon Kruger. Jan Bego-Krobler has tried everything. He threw hammer and tongs, lost a bit of time to Jude Neville. And then you've got Rodriguez running in 4th, Buerta in 5th, Jason Farmer in 6th place. The Griffin Sim Racing team doing a phenomenal job. Blicknote in 7th, Ferreira in 8th as they fight their way through. And there is a Pandacity going and fighting it out. Is it Pandacity? Yeah, that's number 2 car.
That is Mr. Ulrich the Hammer de Jager.
Okay, and that's the Griffin Sim Racing, not the Pandacity. Do apologize. Can't get the confusion. I mean, one is literally an eagle and a lion fused together. It's like 2 awesome pieces put together, and I confuse it for a panda that likes to fall out of a tree. Well, I can't say that. Mordrake Claessens has really also put on such a stunning show. Unfortunately, having the impact did take him out of the race. But Brandon Kruger trying to make his way around, as in our top right, we are seeing Bird trying to also carve his way around the circuit after such a phenomenal time. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I mean, Brandon Kruger, what can we say other than a well done for heading towards the checkered flag?
Yeah, no, this was absolutely masterful drive from him. So yeah, he's only put one foot wrong and he survived. So yeah, well done to Brandon for taking race 1 on track and winning it.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Taking the debut run of the category of the LNR Porsche Cup. But second place goes to Jan Bego Krobler for a phenomenal drive and also surviving. I think he also had a few years taken off his life during the course of that. Jude Neville will lock out that third place ahead of Rodriguez, with Buerta taking the likes of fifth place ahead of Jason Farmer.
Let's summon the boys to the commentary box. See if they will join us and tell us how wonderful they did today.
Absolutely incredible stuff, and what a way to kick off the season. All the thrills, the spills, the highs and lows, and Daniel Buerta going to be smiling all the way through. Griffin Sim Racing in sixth place ahead of likes of Blicknote. Terence Ferreira takes eighth place. Van der Sat will take ninth, and with Government Sami locking out that top 10. Vaughn, who's done a phenomenal job, will run in 11th place with Van der Venter in 12th. Vronis, after everything, will go and lock out that 13th position with Bruce in 14th, Ulrich de Jager in 15th, along with Ferreira, Visahi, Wilson, and Stain to round out the pack.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic, man. Jeez, that was action-packed from start to finish. I did not expect it to be that busy for 40 minutes. The action did not stop until the checkered flag dropped.
Well, that's what we come to expect with some amazing action here with the MSA Logistical Nightmare Racing Porsche Cup. And I've got to say, really entertaining cars, entertaining layout, and going to be a very, very tight championship, I think. As much as Kruger got the runaway, I think he's got his hands full coming up shortly.
Yeah, I see P3 has jumped into the waiting room there. Hello, Jude. Welcome.
Hello.
What can we say? Well done on your P3. That was a fantastic drive from you, especially with not really getting lots of practice because you decided to break your base during the week. So, yeah, well done there on your P3, man. That was a fantastic drive from you.
Yeah. Qualifying, I think I was happy with. I knew kind of my goal for the race was just to get P3 because I know Bago and I know Kruger and I know they're way faster than me. So got the start. At start, managed to jump Bago into T1. I was like, okay. And then I think I made a few mistakes and Bago got past me again. I was like, okay, let me just relax a bit. And then I think about 15 minutes left. Bago, I saw I was catching up to Bago, so I sort of push again. Had a big spin, and then obviously fell back down a bit. So I was just like, okay, now let's just play safe. Don't try to push too hard. Don't try to be a hero. And yeah, considering the lack of practice, as you said, I mean, I've been without a wheelbase for 2.5 weeks, and I got one yesterday. But I'm pretty happy.
Steve, from your side.
Incredible drive, Jude. But now going and jumping into a Porsche Cup car, something that's not often driven by many of the drivers. How did you cope with the car? No TC, no ABS, and also difficult conditions out there. A extremely fast field that you had to fight through many of the battles.
Yeah, no, I love these cars. I haven't driven them much, but whenever I do drive them, it gives the biggest smile on my face. It's no TC. It's a bit different to drive with, but I'm used to it from some other sims and stuff. And yeah, no, just make sure you keep your rear tire in check. Make sure you don't go over the limit. Really was the only way to kind of guarantee anything.
And what's the game plan heading into the rest of the championship? I mean, this is round one. There's still so much to go. Is there any refocus of what you're going to do, little alterations to the car that you think can get a little bit more pace and a little bit more grip out of this insane beast of a 992 Cup car?
Yeah, it's actually just more practice, honestly, because I think I've done combined 3 hours, 4 hours total. So just a bit more practice, and then also just adjust the setup a bit. I didn't have much time to tinker with the setup, so just loaded what we had and just hope for the best. That will be the focus for next round.
Absolutely great stuff. Anything you'd like to say to all the amazing partners here at Logistical Nightmare Racing that are going and taking a look in, and also to the amazing petrol heads out there viewing in, looking at the racing, going and scratching their heads of who's going to be at the top of the order next time?
Just thanks for LNR and all the sponsors who've got on board to organize the series, and to MSA for sanctioning it, obviously. And then just thank you to everyone watching it. That lets these guys continue to put money in and put effort into making these events.
Awesome stuff. Jude Neville of Logistical Nightmare Racing. All right, and next up is our second place, Johan Bego Krobler, jumping into the box. And Bego Krobler, well done on quite a difficult race that had you counting your lives more than once during it.
Yeah, thanks, Steven. It was interesting. The car was quite challenging, and then we also had quite a few challenging moments with some backmarkers. So, but good fun. I really enjoyed it.
If you had to take out a key moment of the race, what would that be for you?
I think the start caught me out a bit. I don't know. There was I don't know what Brandon did, but the positioning on the start was a bit odd. So I was first when the race started, but on the outside. And then from that position, it's kind of odd because he had the nose in right from the start, right until we had to tip it in. So it was kind of hard to defend that inside, and I got mugged by quite a few oaks going into turn one. So that was a bit unfortunate. And then after that, I knew sort of Brandon and Mondre would probably end up fighting, and I knew Jude would be quick. So for me, it was just trying to get onto the back of Jude as quickly as possible, and then just take it from there. But I think probably turning point for me was Jude was quite close, and I think he got some bad luck with back markers as well, which gave me like a 5 or 6 second gap, I think, and that just allowed me to sort of settle down and just get into a slow but steady rhythm. So Brandon drove away up front, but that's fine. Just consolidated and got second.
Always a tough one out there. But taking a look at the championship, what's the game plan launching forward?
Yeah, look, second for me on this track, I think, is a big bonus. It's not a track I historically go very well at, and looking at the calendar going forward, Imola, Bathurst are two tracks where I usually do quite well. So I think this is probably best case scenario for me at the moment. So from here on in, it's just pushing hard and hoping to get a few wins under the belt as well.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Well, a competitor that knows you rather well, and you two have clashed heads more often than not. Paul, anything you'd like to say to Jan Bego Krobler, who made you hold your breath more than once?
Yeah, Bego, stop taking years of my life that move into the corkscrew, man.
Yeah, put you and me both, eh? You and me both. It wasn't completely planned, but yeah, everybody was pointing in the right direction when we got out of there. So I suppose that's all that matters.
I know that was fantastic driving, man. It was awesome to watch, and you boys, you gave us some highlights there throughout the race. So yeah, well done, man. Well done on the P2.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello, Brandon. How are you?
How's it? Good, thanks to you.
Lekker, man. So well done on your win there. That was, whoa, what a race.
Yeah, no, it was really great. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, so as Stephen would say, was there any moments that stood out for you that made this race absolutely just the race to be in?
I think, I'd say the Porsche overall is the reason why you should be in this race. It is such a fun car to drive. The no TC, it just really Like you have to get the car in the swing of things, that slip angle for when you want to go through the corners. Oh, it's just wonderful. So rather not a moment of the race, but the car itself, definitely come join us if you want.
Oh, yeah, no, awesome. Yeah, man. Look, I have to say, you had a bit of fun there, you and Mordre with each other, and then after that, you kind of just decided to run away, and just gave some of the back markers a bit of a heart attack here or there, and that was kind of your race, and then you brought it home. So yeah, I mean, well done on winning the first race for the Porsche Cup. So now we get ready for the second one that we head on over in a couple of weeks at Imola.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm quite keen to race Imola and these things. I have never actually raced this Porsche Cup, but on AC, that Porsche Cup, I used to race on Imola and Laguna Seca. So it's a little bit different, but like a whole lot more fun, and not definitely, obviously, prettier. But yeah, very excited for that race.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. I see the little admin team in the background screaming at us. Remember, he had a bit of a fisticuffs there with Mordre. So, what happened there? Did you miss the brake marker like what I tend to do every single lap, every corner?
It's more of I was confused where he would go. At first, it seemed like he would take the inside line, so then I dedicated to the outside. And then he just veered across the road, and then eventually when he started braking, he was braking diagonally. So then I tried my best to avoid him when he went over to the right, and I just unfortunately collided with him at speed. So yeah, I think he was more looking in the mirrors than looking at the brake marker, and that's why our closing speeds were so different. But yeah, it was just unfortunate.
Okay, well, let's see how that turns out. Yeah, sad to see Mordre that then after that he had quite a few more incidents with a couple of cars where he got taken out, and not great. But yeah, well done on winning round one, and then excited to see you in 3 weeks' time at Imola. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Brandon, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Thanks, Paul. You too.
Brandon Kruger of the Omnis Gaming, I would say, absolutely great stuff. They've been putting a lot of work behind the scenes to try and get it all sorted and get their drivers up to scratch. But Paul, we say farewell to Laguna Seca for our round one of the Logistical Nightmare Racing Porsche Cup. Round two, we head over to Imola on the 13th of April. That has got a lot of drivers smiling ear to ear on a circuit that, well, tends to cause these cars to have a lot more fun sliding around, getting on the power, and also slipstreaming being a main factor down that main straight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm looking forward to round two. The weather should be locked in by tomorrow or Tuesday. Just depends on how the weather looks when I look at it tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll jump to Tuesday. But yeah, we'll see whether Imola will be a nice dry or a bit of a wet one. We got to have some wet racing somewhere, so yeah, we'll drop that weather for everyone, so they might not be too excited once we've had a sip of beer and we decide what weather we're giving them for Imola. But I think it's going to be fantastic. Imola is always just beautiful in the cup cars, so it was a no-brainer that we would be going there next. So yeah, I think cannot wait to see you boys in 3 weeks' time at Imola. And Stephen, thanks for joining me on the microphone. It was a fantastic, great surprise. Thank goodness I didn't have to solo that for 40 minutes. I would have been far inexperienced to deal with that. So yeah, absolutely thanks for that, man.
Thank you very much for having me, and a big thank you to all our petrol heads out there viewing in, and thank you for joining us. A big shout out to our partners, Simulator Cave, flickboy.co.za, ALM Solutions, and the production brought to you in professional fashion of Genisus Extreme. Big thank you to all our partners, and also being in association with Motorsport South Africa. It has been a great one. So make sure that you do hit the subscribe button, hit that like icon as well. Let us know your favorite moments of the race, and also get signed up. There is plenty of space to come in and join in with the amazing action out here in Logistical Nightmare Racing, especially in the Porsche Cup, and see if you have what it takes to be at the top of the order.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much, Stephen, and then see everyone out there in 3 weeks' time. Cheerio.